friends, it's Gwen. Today I will be reviewing Tears of Tess by Pepper Winters. It was also published by her and it was quite different than anything else I have ever read before. So I'm not sure exactly how this book ended up on my wish list, but I read a synopsis somewhere, added it to my Amazon wish list, and when I did a book swap last year, it was like a Christmas time book swap, and I was super excited to get it because, like I said, it had been on my wish list for a while. I finally got it, and I absolutely love the feeling. I love this cover. I think it's so simple and beautiful, the colors, and it's just simple. But the texture, you guys, I think I have become like a book snob, a book texture snob. I don't know, it's so soft. It's so, I mean, I could seriously do this forever. It's so soft, you guys. And it's floppy, which I love. So this book actually is, has some sensitive subjects in it, so that's what I want to talk about first. If you are sensitive to grief, slavery, kidnapping, sexual trafficking, rape, non-consensual sex, anything like that, this is not for you, and I would just, don't even worry about watching this, just go watch another video. I have some other cool videos you can watch, you know. But this one is not for you, so just go ahead and leave, say goodbye, it's okay, I'm not upset. If any of those things bother you, yeah, this isn't for you. Now for those that are staying, the back of the book says that this is a new adult dark contemporary romance. This is a new adult dark erotica book, actually. Tess is the main character and we follow her story throughout the entire book, and it is quite explicit and gripping and authentic. And so what is this story about? Tess and her boyfriend Brax have a good relationship. He's a good-looking guy, he's very sweet and nice, and he loves her, but there's one thing missing from the relationship: great sex. So on their 2-year anniversary, Brax surprises Tess with a vacation to, they're from Australia, so he surprises her with a trip to Cancun, Mexico. And Tess is like, yes, let me get the sexies so we can have passionate sex and do all these naughty things. So they arrive in Mexico and Tess is just continually surprised at how different her wants and needs are compared to Brax's wants and needs. So that night she, you know, tries to explain to Brax that she's wanting things to happen a little bit differently, a little bit rougher, let's say, than has previously happened in the relationship. And he kind of seems weirded out by it, like, what? And that was strange to me, but whatever. And I should also say that this is my first erotic book. I don't have anything to compare it to because it is my first one, and I kind of went into it not knowing that that's what it was about. And also, I haven't read 50 Shades of Grey yet. I have the complete trilogy, all 3 books. My sorority sister let me borrow them, and I know the movie's out and all that. I haven't seen the movie, haven't read the books, don't know if I want to, I don't know. I mean, this one was really good, and I've heard that 50 Shades can be really good. Like, even if you take out all that stuff, it's still like a good story. I don't know. We'll see if I read it. But back to Tears for Tess. So they end up going to bed, and then the next day they kind of made a plan that one day he'll pick an activity, the next day she'll pick an activity, and so forth. So he wanted to go on this moped ride, like around the city and tour and stuff like that. And of course Tess was terrified, but she was like, okay, I'll do it, but don't forget, you know, later we're going to the pool to have some drinks. They get on this moped, they're driving around the city. It's been a while, it's very hot outside obviously, and they stop at this kind of rundown cafe-ish type place. Long story short, she gets kidnapped while her boyfriend goes to the bathroom, and her instincts were totally telling her that something was wrong. She didn't feel comfortable being there. She was trying to rush him, like, I don't like this place. And yeah, her instincts were right. So her boyfriend goes to the bathroom and Tess gets kidnapped. And she is not a go with the flow. She is a fighter, and she is like, you are not taking me. She kicks and claws and scratches and tries to get away, but overpower her, and they take her away to some strange place in Mexico. But they do make them strip down and scrub themselves. They do implant a GPS node in their neck behind their ear, and they do tattoo a barcode on their wrist. So those are the bad things that happen. But she doesn't get raped or anything like that. But because she is a fighter and she is continuously trying to escape, they end up beating her and kicking her, and she's kind of making it rougher on herself. After that, she ends up being, she thinks she is sold to a man in France. She gets on a plane in Mexico and she's flying, and she's assuming that she is in France now in this mansion. And she goes in. Again, when the plane lands, she tries to escape. She runs, she kicks, she screams, everything. She tries to get away. And then the man in the mansion is calling her slave, and she used to call him Q. And their relationship isn't exactly what it seems at first, but he is very sexy and mysterious, and she is determined not to be broken by this new master of hers. And of course, things happen, and they're rather juicy and erotic, but I want to leave all that a surprise, because what happens isn't what it seems, but there are some crazy things that happen. I absolutely loved this book. When I thought it was starting to end, it kept going. And of course, I know that, you know, like if I'm this far into a book and I still have this, I know it's not ending, but you feel like, oh, that's where another author may have left the story. But Pepper Winters kept going, and I just totally shocked by and totally guilty. I feel guilty for loving this book as much as I did. I could have definitely read this in one sitting if I didn't have a million other things going on. Sex trafficking, that's a hard subject to talk about. And yeah, I found those parts very real, and they were hard to read, but it's not a big portion of the book, and I'm sure you can imagine what happens. We've all seen it in the news or read about it, but then the resolution is not what you think. 5 out of 5 stars, and that I immediately went to Amazon.com and added the second book to my wish list. Not only that, but the third book is also out, but it's only available on e-reader, and let's be honest, people, I don't like reading ebooks, so I'm just gonna skip that until it comes out on paperback. So Pepper, can we get on that? I would love to have books 2 and 3 and see how the entire story unfolds. But if you're not into series or trilogies and you're kind of sick of those, you could just read this as a standalone. I thought it was a standalone when I read it. It was a great book. I highly recommend it. Totally out of the box for me. I think that Maria and Nicole from Let's Talk Books would like this book, as long as they are not sensitive to grief, slavery, and non-consensual sex. That's it for today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I know it was a little bit rambly because that's how my thoughts in my head are. This book kind of put me in a reading slump, and I don't know if it was just purely the book or if I just have so much other crap going on. But that's it for today. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay. Tess by Pepper Winters. It was also published by Pepper. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. I can't do this. I should spit out my gum.